Tonight on The Proof is Out There. A Bigfoot sighting with footprints out of North Carolina.
I think they're beautiful evidence that what he experienced that day was real.
A woman escapes from a submerged car without opening any windows or doors.
At this point, I'm still mystified by the whole thing.
And a man dodges rush hour traffic with superhuman reflexes.
My mouth was like hanging open. What is this guy doing?
Around the globe are videos.
What the heck is this?
Photos and sounds that defy explanation.
Is it some kind of unidentified object?
A plane that was literally frozen in the air.
What are they?
Some sort of bizarre mutation.
Extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof.
I'm Tony Harris, and as a journalist for more than 30 years, I've followed the facts where they take me. Now I'm bringing that spirit of investigation to the world's strangest sounds and images. We'll analyze each one with top experts.
It's a credible case, it's a credible video.
And pass a verdict on what it is.
This video was clearly faked.
The Proof starts now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Proof is Out There. Each year, there are hundreds of Bigfoot sightings across the country. Some people devote their lives to the pursuit of the creature. Well, there's no conclusive proof Bigfoot exists. When some new evidence pops up, you can bet we're going to check it out. Hickory, North Carolina, August 2019. Doug Teague is walking his dog, Crazy Daisy, in the woods near his home when he has an encounter worth recording.
Looks like he's looking over top of that stump. Look at him. He's moving. He's moving, he's moving, he's moving. Daisy, come here. Daisy, come here.
The object was very black with a pretty silver sheen to it.
Doug, a Bigfoot enthusiast, says the creature resembled an 8-foot gorilla.
What is it? What is it?
Good question. The video is inconclusive. Let's get a closer look. It's not easy to see, but we can trace the outline of something sitting there through the trees. But Doug said the creature was doing much more before he started recording.
I heard a couple knocks, just put it off as a woodpecker. Didn't think much about it. And then a rock was through that rolled down the hill. On to the right, there was loud grunts, numerous loud grunts.
Tales of large ape-like creatures lurking in the forest of western North Carolina are as common as the region's yellow poplars.
Sighting reports there go back into the 1800s and before.
In 1979, a Bigfoot-type creature known as Nobby was reported multiple times only 40 miles away from this particular location.
And Doug says he has something else, video and casts of footprints he made at the time of the encounter.
Casts are kind of my thing, so I was excited to get in deep with this.
Cliff Barrickman, who runs the North American Bigfoot Center, compares Doug's print casts with another he considers credible.
Look at this cast, look at this cast. We have the toes across the front, what looks like an instep or an arch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a divergent little toe right here, which I really like. That comes down. I think it's safe to say that's a very strong resemblance between the two.
So Doug's video is kind of vague, but the footprints look like powerful evidence, right? Well, not so fast. There's a storied history of hoaxers who've made Bigfoot prints just to toy with the believers. So let's take the video to our experts, starting with anthropologist Kathy Strain.
So this is one of the casts that he has, and it is extremely believable. The toes are all fairly even at the top.
Strain says Doug's cast fit the profile of a giant hominid that might live in the woods.
Those are clearly footprints. They clearly look to be 15 or so inches long. I can see the toes clearly. I can see the heel clearly. I think they're beautiful evidence that what he experienced that day was real.
But when we take the prints to wildlife biologist Lucy Eckersley, she's less interested in their size than the distance between them.
They're actually up to 6 feet apart.
And when you think about that in comparison to the size of the animal that creates them, the animal would have to be around 15 foot tall to have a gait that long.
Eckersley says you can't tell the size of the creature in the video, so maybe it is that big. But she pointed out something curious. Listen, there's something we're not hearing.
If this was a Bigfoot, I would actually expect the dog who is with Doug to be really, really anxious. Dogs have an extraordinary sense of smell. So if this was something brand new, maybe something like a Sasquatch that had a totally different smell to a human, the dog would probably not be keeping quiet.
So if it's not a Bigfoot, what is it? Could it be a bear? Maybe. But remember, Doug said it threw rocks. Bears don't do that.
They can grasp things between their paws, but they can't necessarily throw them.
Eckersley proposes another theory.
From what I can see, the animal is hunched over and appears to have fur covering its entire body. So it could be something like a silverback gorilla that sits in that posture.
But hold up. Gorillas are not known to hang out in North Carolina, which raises another possibility.
It could be a human who is wearing some kind of suit to make it appear like they are covered in fur. All things considered, I really don't know what this animal is.
I agree. The footprints and casts are fascinating, but not conclusive. And the video is a bit of a wash. We just can't see the figure clearly enough. Our best guess? Man in a suit. But we can't completely say it's not the Bigfoot Doug said it was. He's convinced. Flash floods can happen within minutes. They lead to about 100 deaths in the U.S. each year. And anyone who gets caught in one should only hope that the situation resolves itself as miraculously as what you're about to see. Pueblo, Colorado. Physician Dr. Rocky Coleslaw and his family are on their way to dinner when they hit a bad rainstorm. As they seek shelter, they notice another car is being submerged by the water rapidly rising on a low-lying road. Watch what happens next.
As I looked, this car took off and started floating away way faster than I expected.
By chance, a news crew is passing by. They roll cameras. Dr. Coleslaw and others jump into action and try to free 35-year-old Charlene Herrera from the 10-foot deep torrent.
I just saw a piece of wood floating, and so I grabbed it and I just started swimming out.
The car is nearly submerged. The situation looks hopeless.
And I was really hammering away with this piece of wood and making absolutely no progress.
Then it happens. Watch. Another rescuer reaches into the water and somehow he's able to grab Charlene's arm.
Next thing I know, this person is popping out of there like a champagne cork.
Charlene is pulled to safety. It's a feel-good rescue story. But here's the amazing thing. When the car is later recovered, all of the doors and windows are closed and intact.
At this point, I'm still mystified by the whole thing. She'd obviously been through a near-death experience, but she was alive, you know. It was just incredible.
We tried to contact the woman in the car, but we were never able to reach her. So much remains unanswered. How were the rescuers able to get a hold of her? How did she escape when the windows and the doors were shut? Could this be a case of divine intervention or something else? Let's check in with our experts. We always ask, is the video real? Alexis Brooks, a former local TV reporter, says the footage aired on local news and has never been questioned.
The crew that filmed this is a professional film crew. They're in the business of news, not fantasy.
So next question, could a window have been rolled down, then rolled back up? Physicist Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi says it's unlikely.
Most cars today, the windows aren't manual, they're powered windows. And we know that water and electricity don't mix. It's gonna short out the electrical system eventually. So a person doesn't have very much time to lower those windows before it's impossible to lower them.
Something else to consider. Could a door have been opened, then later shut? Dr. Oluseyi concludes that would have required a huge feat of strength.
Physics works against allowing them to escape. The car feels a force pushing in on it on all sides. So a person inside the car, when they try to open that door, they're working against that incredible force. And there is no person strong enough to open such a car door.
Ola Shei says if you wait for the pressure to equalize, the car will be so full of water that there's no air left to breathe. So we have to consider, was this a miracle? We asked Michael O'Neill, a trained engineer who researches claims of miracles in the Catholic Church.
All we know is there is not a clear explanation, naturally speaking, of how that person was saved from the vehicle. Was one of the rescuers an angel or some other divine presence that opened that door and got the person out in an inexplicable way?
So you look at all of the elements that are in play, the camera crew stopping just in time to capture that footage, as well as a physician being on site, and you have to ask yourself, is there something else at work here? It was meant, it seems, for other people to witness that miracles occur and maybe happen every day.
There's a gap of time between the driver being rescued and the car being pulled out. So there's a small chance an open window or door could have closed somehow during that time. But I'm going with our physicist. That's highly unlikely because of the water pressure. So until we get more info, our verdict is possible miracle. The video you're about to see might look like a monster movie, but we're going to tell you up front here, this is no visual effect. It's very real, very gross, and very hard to identify. It's May 2017 in Indonesia's Maluku province. Locals are heading out to work when they make a gigantic, gruesome discovery floating in the water. Cell phone video shows them examining the rotting corpse of a 50-foot dead sea creature that has somehow washed ashore. Here's a look from another angle. The formless blob is not only immense, it looks like it's coated in some sort of white, shaggy hair. What kind of animal has hair like that?
It seems like it's something that shouldn't exist. And in fact, if this animal were terrestrial, it wouldn't be able to exist because of its sheer body mass.
Folklore is chock full of legendary sea creatures as big as this carcass. The ancient Hebrew Leviathan, the Jormungandr of Norse mythology, and the Kraken, a kind of giant octopus, so big it was described as a floating island in Viking eyewitness accounts.
Oh man, I bet that stinks there.
But field researcher Cliff Barrickman says these carcasses have their own name.
Globsters. Globsters are cool in every way. It's part blob, it's part glob, it's part lobster. I mean, how awesome is that?
Globsters have been turning up on shores around the globe for years. This one, known as the Cherbourg carcass, was discovered in France in 1934. But what to make of this one? Globsters have also washed up on beaches in Florida, New Zealand, Bermuda, Canada, and South Africa. But they've never been spotted in the water alive. So what exactly are we looking at here? Let's turn to our analysts. Wildlife biologist Lucy Eckersley first focuses on that amorphous mass of tissue.
I think these could be mistaken for lots of different sea animals. And because they look kind of squishy, you might think that they look like a giant octopus or a giant squid.
A giant squid? But look.
We can see some exposed bone.
This video clearly shows this creature has a spine, so it can't be an invertebrate. Next question, what to make of that hair?
What looks like hair across this creature is actually fibers of collagen.
Marine biologist Dr. Shay Conger says that collagen, a protein that provides structure to skin, bones, and tendons, is the biggest clue.
When components of the body begin to break down, the collagen begins to emerge. And because collagen doesn't break down as quickly as other tissues, these globsters can start to take on a hairy appearance that you wouldn't expect or be able to explain if you weren't familiar.
So what was this before the sea decomposed it into a globster?
This is actually pretty typical of what I would expect to see in regards to the carcass of a large whale. You can see some striations on the bottom of this object, and that is what we would expect to see in the mouth cavity of a large whale, such as a blue whale.
And Conger should know. As you can see, she's been up close and personal with globsters herself.
To witness firsthand one of these animals at close distance, to the human mind, is almost unsurmountable. You're looking at the scale of an animal that's bigger than anything that's ever lived on the planet. And so to unpracticed eyes, they seem absolutely impossible.
Ultimately, this story is about the power of the sea. In this case, its power to transform the bodies of dead animals into something unrecognizable. And once that hair was explained to us, it became clear. Our verdict: the globster is not the kraken or a sea monster. It's a dead whale. Imagine you had the ability to bend and twist your body with almost inhuman speed and agility. Well, our next video shows a man who has some folks speculating we may have found some kind of superhero. It's March 2016, and the streets of Bogota, Colombia are swarming with traffic. So it's no surprise that a group of bystanders on a bridge started screaming when they saw this. Journalist Chrissy Elliott had the same reaction.
Oh my God. I was like, what is this guy doing? He dodges between vehicles, he lies underneath them, and then he just prances off.
Look again. The daredevil pedestrian seems to possess cat-like reflexes. Might there be a strain of superhumans with this kind of quickness?
It takes about 1/4 of a second for a human reflex to react, 250 milliseconds. But there are people whose reaction time is even faster than that.
People like speed shooter Bob Munden, who holds 18 world records. He's been clocked hitting a target and replacing the gun in his holster within 175 milliseconds.
And this guy, if this is real, his reaction time must be on the next level.
Perhaps something else is going on here. Dodging traffic doesn't just take skill, it takes will.
There are about 400 known cases of something called Urbach-Wyeth disease. And what it does is it withers away at your amygdala, which is the part of your brain that is responsible for fear. So could this guy who's cartwheeling through traffic have this disease?
So we have two things to explain here: the traffic dodger's lightning-quick reflexes and his foolhardy fearlessness. Our investigation begins not with the person, but with the footage itself, as we turn to forensic video analyst Mick West.
What was strange to me was not simply how daring this was, but the fact that all the cars ignored him. They weren't actually slowing down or trying to stop or avoid him.
West's first impression tells him this traffic dodger may not be what he seems. But what clues are in the video?
What I often look at in analyzing videos is the lighting and the shadows. We can see the whole setup. There's this pole here, and then there's this power pole, and this is what's casting the shadows in the road. So we know that that's an actual shadow, and that's the shadow of the power pole. So that should be obscured by the cars when they go by the buses.
But watch closely as the bus approaches. Two shadows appear to exist in the same place.
Now, shadows don't add together like that. If something is a shadow and then something else shadows it, it eliminates the first shadow, because light doesn't go through things twice. Which means that this isn't a real shadow. This is something that's been added. It's kind of been overlaid on top.
That's not all West finds. Take a look as this guy lays down in the street.
This car really doesn't look like it's big enough to go over him. And I actually looked at the model of the car. It's a Renault Twingo, small car, and the ground clearance is just under 7 inches. So it's about that much, which is impossible for someone to fit their head in something that's 150 millimeters.
So it turns out seeing isn't believing. Well, then how'd he do it? West says the camera was locked down at one position on the bridge.
There'd be no traffic. So he would just wait until there was a gap in the traffic. He would run out, do his stuff, and then get to the other side.
Then by combining the solo acrobatics with another shot of oncoming traffic and some staged screaming, you have one seemingly incredible superhuman.
All these add up to it being a forgery.
We contacted the creator of this video, and he told us there's no problem with his brain's amygdala. He fears danger just like the rest of us, but he did confirm one thing. This video is 2 different versions combined with digital effects and an extraordinary imagination. Looks like we haven't found a superhuman just yet. That's our show for tonight. Thanks so much for watching, and please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts. I'm Tony Harris, reminding you to keep those cameras rolling.